Welcome to Dark Chapters. She was just 18, a high school graduate full of life, joy, and dreams for the future. Kelsey Smith had her entire life ahead of her. She had a loving family, a caring boyfriend, and she was planning to start college. In the fall, June 2nd, 2007, was just another ordinary day. She told her mom she was going out to buy a gift for her boyfriend from Target. She smiled, said she'd be back soon, and left the house, but she never came back. Hours passed. Her phone rang and rang, then went to voicemail. Her parents started to worry. She always answered her phone. She always came home on time. By midnight, worry had turned into panic. Something was wrong. The next day, her car was found. It was parked outside the Target store, in the same lot she had left it in the night before. Her purse was still inside, untouched. But Kelsey? She was gone. Detectives reviewed surveillance footage from the Target store. What they found chilled them. At 7:09 p.m., Kelsey entered the store. She browsed the aisles like any other teenager, smiling to herself as she picked out a gift. She checked out, walked out the front door, and disappeared. But someone else was watching her. Lurking near the entrance, caught on the store's exterior camera, was a man, standing casually, almost invisible among the shoppers. He watched her. He waited. Moments later, he followed her into the parking lot. He wasn't in a rush. He didn't run. He just walked behind her, and then the cameras lost them both. The next image caught on surveillance was Kelsey's car pulling out of the parking lot. But something was wrong. The person driving it wasn't her. It had all happened in minutes. A teenager goes to the store and vanishes without a scream, without a fight. Without a trace, the community rallied. Volunteers searched the woods, parks, and streets. Flyers were posted on every corner. News stations picked up the story. Father Greg Smith made a tearful plea on TV saying, "My daughter didn't run away. She's out there somewhere and someone knows something." The police were working around the clock. They had few leads. No license plate, no face. Just a blurry image of a man in the shadows and a gut feeling that time was running out. And then they got a break. 4 days after Kelsey disappeared, a single ping came from her cell phone. It connected briefly with a tower in Grandview, Missouri, a town 20 miles away. But there was a problem. In 2007, phone companies didn't easily share GPS data. Police needed a subpoena, and subpoenas took time. Kelsey's family couldn't wait. They went public. They begged the phone company to act without the red tape. They pleaded on live TV, urging the company to release the data to law enforcement. The pressure worked. Within hours of obtaining the phone's GPS data, search teams zeroed in on a wooded area near Longview Lake. The terrain was dense and hidden, the kind of place no one would accidentally stumble into. 45 minutes into the search, a team member made the discovery. She was found face down in the brush. Just 40 feet from the roadside, she had been strangled. Her body had been dumped like garbage. Kelsey was gone. She had been kidnapped, assaulted, and murdered. The next step was finding the man who did it. Investigators reviewed the Target footage again. They noticed something, a dark SUV parked behind the store, a vehicle that left moments after Kelsey. They traced it, found the make and model, and from there, they found the owner. His name was Edwin Roy Hall, a 26-year-old married man, father, living in the same area. One had suspected him. He looked normal, average, just another face in the crowd. But when police brought him in, he cracked. He confessed. He said he saw Kelsey in the parking lot, followed her into the store, watched her browse, waited outside. When she came out, he approached her with a gun, forced her into her own car, drove her across town, assaulted her, strangled her, and left her in the woods. There was no real reason, no personal connection, no vendetta. He didn't know her. He just chose her. At random, Edwin Hall was charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, and rape. In court, he showed little emotion. His wife filed for divorce. The community was shocked. This wasn't a monster from a movie. This was a man living among them, a father, a neighbor. In October 2008, he pleaded guilty to avoid the death penalty. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, but the story doesn't end there. Kelsey's parents didn't retreat into silence. They turned their grief into something powerful. They launched a national campaign to make sure no other family would have to wait for a phone company's permission to save their child. They pushed for a new law, the Kelsey Smith Act, which would allow law enforcement to access cell phone location data quickly during emergencies. Their daughter's final moments became a catalyst for change. Today, the Kelsey Smith Act has been passed in over 25 U.S. states. It's saved lives. It's given police the power to act when seconds matter, because sometimes those seconds are the difference between life and death. Kelsey's legacy lives on, not in how she died, but in what her death changed. She wasn't supposed to be a hero. She wasn't supposed to be a symbol. She was supposed to be a college student, a daughter, a girlfriend. She was supposed to grow up, fall in love again, have a career, a family, a full life. But a stranger took all that away in an instant. And that's what makes this story so terrifying, because it didn't happen at night. It wasn't in a dark alley. It wasn't in a far-off place. It was in daylight, in a public parking lot, outside a Target store. And it could happen to anyone. This isn't just Kelsey's story. This is the story of every girl who ever walked to her car with her keys in her hand. Every parent who waited for a call that never came. Every community that thought, that could never happen here. Evil doesn't always wear a mask. Sometimes it looks ordinary. Sometimes it stands quietly in the corner. Sometimes it follows you without a sound. Kelsey Smith's life was stolen. But her story, her voice echoes through every law passed, every child found in time, every case where technology helped bring someone home. She is not forgotten, and she never will be. Stay aware. Stay cautious. Always tell someone where you're going, because sometimes the most ordinary moments are the most dangerous. If this story moved you, share it. Remember her name. Tell her story, and if you want to hear more real-life crimes and mysteries that deserve to be remembered, subscribe to Dark Chapters, because in the shadows,